There's nothing common about this morning's guest, except for one thing. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union on 21st Avenue in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on Air Force Base redevelopment and the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base, and we're visiting with the Executive Director of the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base Redevelopment Authority, Buddy Styers.
Good morning.
Good morning, Buddy.
Good morning. Nice
and the project manager for development for the Market Common, which is kind of the exciting thing that we're all thinking about now, Buddy.
You know, sometimes I have difficulty remembering which hat I have on. I'm thinking about having one with two bills.
Oh, yeah.
And I can do them like this.
I love it. I love it. You should. You should have worn that this morning. That's right. Early on a Thursday morning.
You bet.
We've got Mayor Rhodes coming in tomorrow, and of course, I know he is so excited about the Market Common and what's happening out there, the real incredible partnership between the city of Myrtle Beach and McCaffrey Interests. And of course, all of this got started thanks to the tremendous redevelopment of the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base Redevelopment Authority, which you've been in the role since, is it August 95?
Since August of 95.
Which is incredible.
I sure have.
Think about
First
that.
and only executive director. And what's made our success is that, truthfully, I had a wonderful staff, dedicated, committed, loyal, and I also had just a tremendous number of unpaid volunteers that made up my board. Mr. Harold Stowe, Robert Castles, General Bob Reed, people like that, Phil Stovey. All of these people made it possible for the staff to do what we did, and I'm not saying anything about them for any reason except they deserve a just tremendous amount of credit for paying attention to business and keeping us focused on getting the job done, regardless of pretty much ever of the politics of it.
We should have spent a week there at your old office years ago before you began slowing down on things a little bit, because there should have been an opportunity to highlight folks like Harold Stowe, the chairman who was on board for as long as he was, but as well as Betty and Sandra and Bill and even Julie and others that were there in the office with you for as many years as they were, to really make sure the disposition of this incredible Air Force base happened properly, happened for the good of the citizens, not only for the city of Myrtle Beach, for the county of Horry and the state of South Carolina. So,
well, you know, the law, Title 31, Chapter 12 of South Carolina law that established us says that's what we're to do. We were to focus on creating jobs to replace those lost, which the Air Force only had 800 civilian jobs here. All, of course, the military folks moved on to other jobs, but we lost those 800 jobs. By last count, 3 months ago, we've created more than 2,400 jobs out there.
Wow.
And then the second focus is to enhance the local tax base.
Yes.
When you consider that the 3,900 acres of what was the former base paid zero real property taxes. And now that it's closed and paying taxes, all of the businesses out there that have purchased property from us, all of those are paying per year in excess of $3 million a year in real property taxes alone, not counting personal property, construction permits, and business licenses, and none of that revenue was possible as long as it was a federal installation. Now it is. And when the Market Common finishes, just the Market Common and the Lennar homes should create annually $10 million a year in real property taxes alone.
And when you say the Lennar homes, is that the Withers Preserve?
Well, Withers Preserve owns a portion of it, but the Lennar homes is the project for right now 250 acres nearest the Market Common.
Nearest to the Market Common?
Yes.
But that is separate and distinct from the Market Common?
Yes, it is. It's separate and distinct.
So
the Market Common will be approximately 500,000 plus square feet of commercial and retail space and about
Wait, say that again, buddy. Those are incredible numbers. You said 500,000 of commercial and retail square feet.
That's correct. And about 1,800 residential units, townhomes, 186 apartments for people that would like to live in town, be
Right.
able to walk to the bank, to the restaurant, to the grocery store.
Sure. Just within the 115 acres of
Yes.
the Market Common. You were
Yes.
kidding.
Yes.
To think about the opportunity that's going to happen on what is the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base with Lennar and Withers Preserve and the Market Common, as well as the 800 homes of Seagate Village.
Well, in addition to the 115 acres for the Market Common, there's an additional 900 acres still to be developed. Lennar has 250, and the Withers Preserve has about 750.
That is incredible.
It's going to be something that's going to change the face. I think, having grown up here and having
Oh, yeah.
lived here since the mid '50s, it's going to change the face of Myrtle Beach because there is not anything like this here at all at the beach,
No.
and it's just going to be a wonderful place where people can live, work, and play, and really enjoy life out there. The city's done a terrific job, Greg, with the parks and improving
Right.
the recreation opportunities. They're going to renovate the gymnasium out there.
Oh, yeah.
Redevelopment Authority is putting about $2,950,000 in that project.
Is that right, buddy? I
City's
need
going
to
to put about $3 million in it. That'll
renew
be
my
terrific.
gym membership.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
It'll be fantastic. It has been just a tremendous thing, though, that we are, and what I was starting to say a minute ago was you talked about focusing on what's in the best interest of citizens, quality of life, and that's what the authority concentrated on.
Right.
Done just a terrific job. We've spent close to $30 million on public
On
infrastructure,
infrastructure, yes.
roads, water, sewer, stormwater. On top of that, $3.7 million to Georgetown Tech
Oh, yeah.
to convert the hospital for the Spear Medical
Right. The
Science
Robert
Training
Spear
Center.
facility, which will be
Yeah.
incredible.
which will be open next spring.
Is that right? We're a year away from that.
A year
so it'll
away from that.
dovetail
It's
around.
already under contract with
Oh, yeah.
Allen Hay
I
Construction.
drive by it every morning.
Yeah, they're working real hard on it. Hope to open it in the spring. It's going to be fantastic.
It is amazing, buddy. I mean, we could just sit here for 30 minutes literally and talk about that because the excitement of that area, and that's what we want to do. When you think about, for you, when you joined as the executive director of the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base Redevelopment Authority in August of '95, and remember driving on the base and the circuitous route you'd have to go through to get to your office versus now you can enter from Ocean Boulevard and exit on the bypass in a matter of minutes.
It's real interesting. In 1961, I worked for General Telephone collecting money from pay telephones, and one of the places I had to collect was on the base,
Right.
at the base exchange. So I've been going on that base since the early 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And there are military folks that stopped by today that said, I was stationed here in the 60s or whatever. I can't find where I am. I lived in a barracks, and they were somewhere, but I don't know where they were.
Yeah.
And it is a tremendous thing, and I think the progress is is just going to be unbelievable. I think I remain staunchly convinced that the McCaffrey people are honest and above board.
Oh, yeah.
And doing this
For the right reasons.
for the right reasons. And as I mentioned to you, with that 500+ thousand square feet of commercial retail space, we've got 66% of it executed, leased right now.
Done already. Locked
Already.
up, totally committed.
We have already gone vertical with two of the first buildings that we're doing, and if you
Right.
ride by, you can see the big crane out there.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. We should have filmed out there today.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Great day.
Absolutely. On a Thursday here. It is so perfect. When you think about all the activities, and now, do you ever go back and you remember, of course, where your office was, the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base Redevelopment Authority office, for as long as it was on that street, and as the barracks began to fall, and as everything around you began to fall, and even now it has disappeared, and you all are in some other space there. And, of course, it's important to point out that is your hat for one day a week, essentially.
Well, I remain committed to the Redevelopment Authority, and I've given them my word that I'm going to be here until we close the door for the very final time.
Oh, yeah.
And but the opportunity, I had never given any consideration that there might be something with the Market Common for me to do. I never even thought about it. Dan McCaffrey, president of the company, called me back before Christmas, first week in December, told me he needed a senior project manager and would I be interested, in knowing full well that I've been talking to the authority since last summer about the fact that we were really getting down to where there was not a real work to do.
Right.
You know, and I started letting people go. Sandra Carr, who had been the clerk and the secretary to the authority for probably 7 years.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I had to let her go, and then Bill Hicks was our operations and maintenance guy for 11 years. I let him go because he didn't have one full, when we didn't have a project to oversee, and Bill oversee every project out there, the construction, tenant liaison, management, and all of that. He did that.
Sure.
And then so right now it's pretty much me and Betty Ballou, who's our director of finance and administration.
Absolutely.
And we're both going to stay there until the bitter end, as we would put it. You know, we all took the job clearly understanding that there would be a day.
Sure, you'd phase that out.
When
That's
we would work ourselves out of a job.
And even Fred Glover worked himself out of a job by helping out.
And when Fred left about 3 years ago, I really, at that time, only had 3 pieces of property left to sell.
Right.
As it stands today, this Thursday morning, I have 1 piece of property left to sell. I will probably get title from the Air Force late this year. It's under contract to be sold, and that's it. Mostly everything else we're doing now is still continuing to be the point of contact with the city and the Air Force to make sure that everything stays on track, and pay bills of the money that we've committed to the city for Crabtree, to Georgetown Tech, for the hospital, and maybe to the airport. We've committed $10 million.
Is that right? $10 million to the.
If it comes to pass, we'll be putting $10 million into some unfunded priority projects that they need but don't have money for. So,
well, that's fascinating. So there's still at least those funds available to help out the airport or wherever the needs would be for the city and the county.
I would like to see us, one of the major projects that I think still needs to be done is the extension of Harrelson Boulevard from the terminal to Kings Highway. Yeah. And I would, right now, the county and the city have an agreement that when the new terminal is operational, then the county has a responsibility to extend it. I would like to see us be a part of that. I think, at least in my mind, and that is probably one more thing that we can be a part of that will mean a great deal. And every closed installation has the same problems because for a military installation you need limited access. Now we need to open it up so people can get from one side of Kings Highway to
the bypass right over there. And would its terminus be there close to the Huffman helicopters, or would it be
that
a little
is
closer
undecided
up to
at
the
this time.
Exxon
We worked very hard to come up with a footprint for it, but the city council didn't approve it, and now it's going to be something the city council and the county council have to work out exactly where it's going to intersect.
Hold hands
Kings
on
Highway.
that. Yeah.